Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host Sean McGahee, and this is a show where we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, Patreon, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever, guys. While you're there, go and rate, review, subscribe, then head on over to the Facebook group and Twitter account and join in the discussion. Well, hello, everyone. Hope you all are enjoying your week. It is Friday. The weekend is upon us, and it is a hot day here in Austin, Texas. Hope you guys are staying inside or staying by the pool, because otherwise you're probably melting like a snowman out there. Now, full confession mode, guys. Number one, my daughter is in the room with me. She is behind me making a birthday picture for her friend Delilah. So if you hear any noise, that's just her doodling quite masterfully, if I might add. Yeah, she agrees, of course. Yes. And then also, like I said, I don't do a lot of podcasts nowadays or episodes, so to speak. I'm always active on the Facebook group and Twitter account posting stories, hoping you guys will chime in and discuss stuff. But I don't do a lot of these every now and then just because, time-wise. And when I do a story, I want something that's really passionate about, that I can really feel like I have a good opinion about. Today I was all set to do one. It's my day off, and I was going to do a casting call that I talked about early in the week that I've been working on for months. But just as I was about to jump on and do it, some news popped up in regards to Batman. So I thought I would do a story on that as well, in the name of current interest, I guess you would call it, really. But anyway, guys, what I'm talking about is that Warner Brothers and HBO Max have announced that they are going to be doing a Gotham City Police Department show produced by Matt Reeves, who is directing the upcoming Batman film starring Robert Pattinson, and also Boardwalk Empire creator Terrence Winter going to helm this TV series that's going to be on HBO Max. So according to the official press release, quote, HBO Max announced today that it has given a series commitment to an original DC drama set in the Gotham City Police Department from the Batman filmmaker Matt Reeves, Boardwalk Empire creator Terrence Winter, the Batman producer Dylan Clark, and Warner Brothers Television. The groundbreaking television series, to be written by Winter, is set in the world Reeves is creating for the Batman feature film and will build upon the motion picture's examination of the anatomy of corruption in Gotham City, ultimately launching a new Batman universe across multiple platforms. The series provides an unprecedented opportunity to extend the world established in the movie and further explore the myriad, I know I got that wrong, of compelling and complex characters of Gotham. This marks the first television production for Reeves under his recently announced overall deal with Warner Brothers Television Group. Okay. Obviously, the most important piece of information we're getting from this is that the Batman feature film will build upon the motion picture's examination of the anatomy of corruption in Gotham City, ultimately launching a new Batman universe across multiple platforms. So there you have it. Warner Brothers is planning their own Batman shared universe across multiple platforms, they've said, which means probably movies and television, maybe on, CW perhaps, maybe on HBO Max. I don't know what's going to happen, but this is the first of multiple shows, Gotham Central. Now, I know there was the comic book written by Ed Brubaker. I never read it. I like Batman. I'm not a big Batman fan, really. I would call myself. Everyone knows I like Superman better, but Gotham Central, you could definitely play a lot with something like that. I'm very curious though, given that they just had the show Gotham on Fox that was canceled or done with or whatever you want to call it. That centered mainly around the Gotham Police Department, right? Because Jim Gordon was the main character. You had Harvey Bullock in there. It was mainly police show, if I remember correctly, right? While I have no doubt this is going to be a totally different slant, at least I hope it will, because I didn't really like Gotham, and so I didn't watch it. Hopefully, this is something that will interest me. Maybe giving it more of an NYPD Blue kind of slant. As you could say, Boardwalk Empire creator is going to be part of it. That show, I never watched all of it. I watched a handful of episodes. It's one of those shows that I agree is great programming, but I watch a lot of TV, so I pick and choose, what I watch based on how excited I want to watch or how excited I get to watch it. And it was just one of those shows that while I will recognize it's good TV, it's something that doesn't get me really excited or craving to watch it every week. With Gotham, I have a couple of characters, of course, that I know of that are on the Gotham City Police Department. Of course, you have Jim Gordon, Harvey Bullock, Renee Montoya. Those are kind of the main three, mainly, of course, because from the Batman animated series I'm most familiar with. But there's a few others that I can, briefly recall. Maggie Sawyer, which I was looking up on Wikipedia, she's a member of, the Metropolis Police Department. I had no idea she transferred over to Gotham City for a while, but I guess in the current status of Rebirth, she transferred back over Metropolis. It was funny because I've been rewatching episodes of Smallville, and I'm on season 5, and I just watched the episode where the character of Maggie Sawyer pops up on Smallville, so it was a nice little coincidence there. But, a hard-hitting police drama set in the world of Batman of Gotham sounds interesting. It's very interesting, of course, that they're looking to expand the Batman movie, because in the movie universe, you still have your DCEU, your Aquaman, your Wonder Woman, your Shazam, your Birds of Prey, and that's their own kind of shared universe there, where they're going to make another universe perhaps, but only Batman centered. So I feel like that kind of puts the kibosh on maybe, bringing Ben Affleck back as Batman, as some rumors have been swirling, even though I don't believe them. Or perhaps maybe they're ending the DCEU. Obviously, I don't think that's the case, because you got Wonder Woman coming up, which is technically still in the universe, Aquaman 2, Shazam 2, all these other movies that are on the horizon that are still set in that universe that was set up very first with Man of Steel, then Batman v Superman, and Justice League. But of course, if you look at those, they're very singular films that don't really rely on the shared cinematic universe or barely even mention the rest of the universe. So maybe, they're getting away from that and they're focusing more on a Batman shared universe. So again, what I took away from this announcement is, yes, we're getting into Gotham City, hard-hitting, cop drama on HBO Max. I get it. But the fact that they're planning multiple, shows related to the upcoming Batman Matt Reeves movie, that's pretty interesting in my book, actually. One, that means they got to have a lot of faith in what Matt Reeves is doing. But also, there's got to be a lot of ways to go. Now, a worry would be, of course, in the spirit of an Amazing Spider-Man 2, or films of that nature, or a Batman v Superman, perhaps even, where they're so busy trying to set up the upcoming universe, so the upcoming next films, they don't focus so much on the first film. Now, Matt Reeves is a good filmmaker, so I have every faith that he can do something good and, keep it focused in one central movie while, maybe trying to set up a bigger universe, perhaps, in that. But I think it's a great idea, mainly because in the DC universe, Batman definitely has the strongest supporting cast surrounding him, which is, people always find interesting, because Batman is, always seen as kind of a lone hero, brooding and, does his own thing, where he's got the biggest entourage out of all the DC heroes. I mean, of course, you have the Green Lantern Corps, but I don't know. I mean, you could count them with all the thousands of them, but really, I wouldn't count that as one, because, when you think about Green Lanterns, you think about the human Green Lanterns, maybe Kilowog in there. That's only a handful of them. The Flash, of course, has Kid Flash and Impulse and Jesse Quick, Jay Garrick, all those guys. But again, still nowhere near the kind of crew that Batman runs around with. I mean, for him, of course, you've got Robin, Nightwing, Red Hood, who else? Both Robins, obviously. Batwoman, Batgirl, Spoiler, Huntress, Lady Shiva, all of them that kind of, are around Batman's character. So there are multiple things to do with that. Not strictly saying they're going to go with those characters, but, there's a couple of problems if they do decide to expand out that way. Number one, obviously, if you're looking at the Robins, Nightwing, Red Hood, Damian, Tim Drake, Robert Pattinson is in his 30s, I believe. To have a character like that go and have not only have Robin, but also have a Robin grow up and then spin off into a Nightwing or a Red Hood or anything like that. It's going to be a long road for that. Definitely, you could throw in Robin and then throw in Batgirl, which I think would be fine. Batwoman, obviously, having her own show on the CW. I could see why you might try to cancel her out. Of course, I can still not get back through the Batwoman show. I watched about 5 episodes, and while I agree those last couple episodes that I've watched were great in the pilot, I hated the pilot. The show does get better, and again, I'm only 5 episodes in, and then there's the whole thing with the recasting of Batwoman that was recently announced with that too. So I think Batwoman for the time now might be off the table, which is disappointing because I think she has the most potential. Given the character of Kate Kane and what she could become in a streaming universe, where you don't have to abide by TV 14 rules on the CW. But, maybe throwing a spoiler, in there, throwing a Huntress, characters that, do exist. Some of them in the Arrowverse, as the CW puts it, but I would much rather see them in a more hard-edged show that would be available on a streaming service like HBO Max. I think there are a lot of stories that you can tell. If you just look at the supporting characters that are gonna be in the Batman film, the one that off the top of my head, of course, is Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. If they play their cards right, that would be a great character to see here in some kind of spin-off capacity. You have other characters, of course, Jeffrey Wright as Jim Gordon. I have no doubt that if this Gotham Central show is going to connect to the Batman universe that they're creating, he's definitely going to be in that. And Jeffrey Wright, no stranger to HBO programming, given that he is in Westworld. I, for one, am really enjoying the Pennyworth show that they did. Who is it? Stars or one of those show channels that's doing that one. I'm enjoying the Young Pennyworth show, to be honest. Well, I don't think you can connect that to the Andy Serkis character, perhaps. But, I think there are multiple ways to go with it. And, of course, I have every faith that, Matt Reeves, again, has an idea of what he's doing. Again, the heroes that I want to see, though, are his supporting cast like Nightwing, Batgirl, Batwoman, Red Hood, stuff like that. And I feel like it's going to be too early in the Batman mythology with Robert Pattinson to explore that. Perhaps, maybe, they can jump forward in time. There's all these rumors about Michael Keaton coming back and being a multiverse type Batman. Maybe, we can play with that a little bit with Flash jumping over to the Matt Reeves universe. Honestly, the whole multiverse idea up on the big screen, I think is a little too much. To be honest, I don't think it works that well in the Arrowverse on the small screen the way they've done it either. But, it's a possibility that can be done. I'm just a little flabbergasted, I guess, a little surprised that they're looking to set up a Batman shared universe, much like, Marvel did with their MCU, where you have your Agents of Carter, your Agents of Carter, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter, and multiple other things that will go into the movies. But the movies, of course, I'm sure will still be the big draw with that. And again, I'm just not sure what this means for the greater shared universe of the DCEU, because I know a lot of people have had this hope that the Snyder Cut being released means that everything is going to go back on track, that Ben Affleck is going to come back and be Batman, that Henry Cavill is going to continue to be Superman, and that, Snyder coming back means he's going to finish his dream, and the Flash movie is going to be great, and, all this stuff. Cyborg movie coming back, and I don't want to get into that whole Ray Fisher drama, but anyway, to me, it says no, it's not. It's not going to happen. Now, of course, I'm probably wrong. I might be wrong. I am totally fine being wrong. If you want to continue the Snyderverse, that sounds cool. I think, while I love the fact that we're getting the Snyder cut of Justice League coming, and I think there are some interesting things you could definitely do within that universe with the characters that were established pre-Justice League. To me, this story means they're not going to do that. I think they're focusing mainly on their main moneymaker character, which is Batman. Batman has always been the golden goose for Warner Brothers when it comes to DC properties. Even Superman has let them down now with Superman Returns and even Man of Steel. So they're going to try to focus, I think, on their main character, Batman. I just hope they're not putting too much faith because, again, I like Batman. Not a huge Batman fan because I am a Superman fan. I think there are some great characters in the Batman universe. I think he has a multitude of characters to choose from that would be great. I just don't want them to overreach or overextend into that well, Don't, keep going back to it because one thing I've hated when I watched, the Man of Steel, the Batman v Superman, is that what I said about Batman v Superman is you can definitely tell Warner Brothers had Zack Snyder or whoever cut that film up to make it a Batman film because all the missing half-hour stuff that you get in the Ultimate Cut is Clark Kent Superman stuff. So you can tell whoever, edited or told him to edit it definitely wanted it to be more Batman focused. And I don't blame them because Batman for Warner Brothers has made them millions upon millions of billions of dollars. And, why not focus on that where, as I said before, Superman and Man of Steel, the previous Superman movies, weren't what Warner Brothers wanted, whereas, going back to the Schumacher, the Tim Burton films, or even, of course, the Christopher Nolan films, Batman has always made the money, and so that's why they wanted to bring Batman to the focus, and I can see why they want to try to expand this universe, and again, get the most out of the character they feel has the richest potential for the studio to make money. So, understandable, guys. But what do you think? Do you think this is a good idea for Warner Brothers to kind of almost put the cart before the horse, like some studios have been doing, where, Universal tried to make a whole Monsters universe before they saw how the first film went with Tom Cruise as the Mummy. Of course, Warner Brothers had this whole universe planned out with Justice League, and by the time you got to Justice League, the general audience had lost faith because it was the film that made the least amount of money out of the entire DCEU filmography. And, studios putting the cart before the horse, going all the way back to, like I said, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where they want to make an expanded universe, but they're not focusing enough and seeing how that first film is going to do. In this case, the Batman. Should they wait and see how the Batman's going to do first before they try to expand this multi-platform universe around it? Or do you think Batman is an established enough character, it's okay to go ahead and, build stuff around the Robert Pattinson Batman before we see just how the film is reviewed and received? Let me know, guys. All right, well, that is it for me today. I am going to get out of here. Busy weekend ahead of me, of course. I got my birthday weekend. So Sunday, plan on going golfing. I'm going to hit the pool side and have a nice dinner with some friends. And then on Monday, my daughter and I are going to Six Flags for right now. What?
Tomorrow I get to go to my friend's birthday party.
Okay, well, tomorrow she gets to go to her friend's birthday party. So she's excited about that. And hopefully there'll be enough party left when I get there. But anyway, guys, like I said, that is it for me today. Fire back on the social media groups and Gmail account. Let me know what you think. You can find me personally, Slim Dayspring12 on Twitter and Instagram. And that is it, guys. Until next time, same bat channel.